from England, from Portugal, from Spain. And when all of them started to compete, they of course had losses. When Columbus started his expedition, he was given a patent. It's called a letters patent, which basically a declaration. The Pope claiming to represent God, the kings and queens being empowered by the Pope to say, go conquer any territory you find, not ruled by white Christian princes, and take it over on our behalf. Now, Pope Columbus thought he was coming to India. He was coming to India for our spices and our textiles. He thought there was a new way in a different direction. He landed in the Americas, and his blunder is defined in history as the discovery of America. It's a blunder we must correct. This was not a discovery. He lost his way. The only benefit of Columbus's losing his way is he called us all Indians. So we are all Indios. And that is our unity. And I don't have to tell you about what those conquests meant. But as pirating the gold and the land and the spices and the richness of our lands became the wealth that built the so-called First World on the piracy of our wealth, they started to compete with each other. And the corporation was created, the East India Company as the first corporation was created as a limited liability corporation, which basically means if the gold comes home to you, it's yours privately, the 10 gangsters who had got together. But if the ship is hijacked by someone else, then the losses belong to all of society. All of society will pay for your losses. This has been the history of the corporate form. Privatizing profits and socializing costs. So when the automobile makers sell us lots of cars that we don't need, the profits are theirs. When our children get asthma because of air pollution, the cost is ours. When the chemical corporations sell toxins and poisons in agriculture, and these are the same companies that made chemicals for warfare, I realize increasingly that what they call scientific expertise is only the scientific expertise of extermination, killing, and violence. And this expertise is misplaced when it comes to the expertise of nurturing life, protecting life, defending life for the future. There are two very different kinds of knowledge, two very different kinds of science, two very different kinds of skills. So those who have the skills of creating the gases for the gas chambers that killed more than 1 million Jews, or the wars and the poison gases, when the wars got over, said, why don't we recycle these chemicals and make them agrochemicals? And redefine agriculture in a way that we can say, without these chemicals you will starve, you won't have food. So the fertilizers came from the explosive factories, the pesticides came from the poison factories to kill human beings, and that's why they still kill. Bhopal in 1984, which was the year I woke up to what was wrong with agriculture, it was not an accident. That leak of a gas from a pesticide plant owned by Union Carbide, now owned by Dow, which has now merged with DuPont, it was a gas that was designed to kill. And when it leaked, it killed 3,000 people immediately. 30,000 since then. And children till today are being born crippled. I was in Bhopal for the anniversary about 3 years ago, and a hall as big as this was full of post-1984 children. Some of them in their 20s now. who can't walk, who can't talk, who have been maimed for life.